What's up, guys? Back with another video, and in this video I'll be talking about like the biggest problem that we're also facing in 2020, aside from the global pandemic, right? Especially what America has become, man, in our generation, and the people that's living in this current time. I mean, I can see that there is just a lots of problem going on, and it is very unacceptable. But I hope that we can fix it soon, but I doubt it. Like, this problem will like almost never go away. Almost never. The one word that I will use a lot throughout this video is the word hate. Yes. And why we feel so separated, 2020. I mean, the past few years, like lots of my friends, or even some of my friends, or majority of them say that, like in 2020 we feel so separated, right? They say that society's messed up, they need to fix the problem. And when I keep hearing this, and when I keep hearing your opinion about the election, I know that I have to talk a lot about America, Trump versus Joe Biden. I feel like a lot of people, are going against each other, and they're like hating each other. I get it, like why people hate each other for one biggest common reason, because they did something that they really don't like, and they keep doing it, and that's how the person gets pissed off. And this is how it can cause a lots of conflict, right? Whether people did something to piss them off, whether they make mistake, whether people are bad or good, for in terms of general, a lots of general reason, right? I mean, we have a lot of issues this year, just aside from the global pandemic just alone, right? Yeah, and I've been seeing a lots of hate's been going on, because I watch on the news. You get what I'm talking about. If you've been through 2020, watch the news every day, or you listen what your friend or your family or other people outside of you say, you will definitely know what's going on right now. Like America is supposed to be representing the world's strongest country, and the number one country in the whole wide world. But it looks like there's been lots of riot protests for various reasons. There's like people hurting one another. I see all that kind of tragic stuff, and this is why. And what caused all that? It's because of hate, right? People hate for like common reason, whether they did something that they really don't like, or whether it's your look, you know based on your judgment of your of your appearance and all that sorts of stuff, right? I know that this country has racism problem, man. Yeah, I get like people like hate the police. It's because yeah, because of police brutality, right? Yeah, it happened several times this year. Especially the first time I went to 2020 about this George Floyd. I mean, people just keep referring to history and past. Like oh, they just don't like person just because the just because of the look and appearance, and I don't feel like it's right. I mean, I'm just saying, man, like everybody, you know, I get like, like we have, like bias, problem, also source problem. And also, when I watch the, the election, during rallies, when people rally for, whether Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or other parties, I see that people, fight each other on the street because, they vote, against, a president they don't like, or the president that they hate, or the president they don't want to be a president. Whether they support the president or not, like I've been seeing a lots of fighting going on. Police have to get through. I see that when police brutality happen, There's a lot of looting in the store, people hurting, fighting, or trying to kill the police. It's just been, a huge chaos, and there's been, bombing, and there's been, rumors, like World War III almost started, because each country hate each other. I know that US and Russia and China and, and other big country, were the huge big allies, of the United States, but somehow, Russia hates the United States now. It's not an opinion, it's a fact, man. You can just look it up, and I mean, even there's some country like where they have civil war that's still going on right now. This is the crazy part. Why wars going on, and why World War One, World War Two always happen? Because they just want to fight, because they just really hate each other. The hate just comes just to cause a lot of problems these days, right? And this is where they separate the entire one big nation. We were like one nation working together, and I just, because they keep referring past like where like whites and different color skin are separated just because of the look. I get it. Just like, just because a person looks a little different, that doesn't mean you treat them like an animal. No, you don't do that. I mean, every single life matters on Earth, and I have to tell you why, man. Like, even animal lives matters too. Like, people can even go to jail or get a life sentence, or executed just for abusing animals too. I see that past, and which is why people go vegetarian, but that's I that's what I'm just telling you. I tell you that that people shouldn't even even abuse animal. And when I say that, that means the same things that you cannot even abuse anybody, period. Or just hate one another because of dumb reasons. And because when people don't get along, they hate each other, like they just don't want to be friends, or they don't want to like each other ever again. And this is where they put separation, man. This is where people get separated, right? I know that this is how I've been witnessing, not just only I looked at the news, but I also started hating a lot of people, or disliking people, or I want to even avoid people, which is very sad. I know that the global pandemic requires people to always social distance. This is already separating us already, and when people get mad at each other or hate each other, like, it separates us like even more than it has to be. Like, when you social distance, like, you just cannot shake hands, not even hug, or you cannot cannot go near that person, like lockdowns, all that restriction. Like, the pandemic limits everything that we can do. And I know that why a lot of people are struggling in 2020, right? Yeah, it's been a big struggle. I've been struggling too. I mean, people just do a lots of things that other people just don't like, to be honest, or that just make them really mad. That I'm just repeating the same thing over and over again. So here, let me do a real recap of like why I've been feeling so separated in 2020, why I feel so separated. Yeah, because I know that a lot of unfortunate things happened to me in 2020. I mean, I will make that in the rant video. I mean, whenever a person feel piss me off, I know that I have really high temper problem. I just want to stay away from that person for a while. I just like, I can like even make the global pandemic them excuse, you know, like say just listen or don't even want to see the person at all, man. It's just really tough, man. That's the toughest and saddest part, you know, is that you just want to be away from the person, you know, whenever, you know, you just get angry, you know, at little things like that. Or, you know, or something that you really, you know, disagree. Yeah, man. I just know that during, you know, the mid, you know, 2020, I see a lots of protests, right? Lots of protests, you know, people fighting and people even lose their life. That's the one key thing that I have to explain. People even lose their life because, you know, because of, you know, whether they get killed in a fight or something like that, and it's because they, you know, hate to one another, and that's how it causes conflict, and that's how it causes, you know, a problem to get even bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? Yeah, and also, you know, like people, you know, just misuse their power sometimes, you know, just, you know, take advantage of another, and I don't feel like that's good too, right? If you know what I'm talking about, like say for example, you know, let's say that a white cop, you know, like kill, you know, a black cop, and I mean a black person, black person, white cop killing, you know, a black person, right? Let's say that a black person just, you know, literally just, you know, did crime, but not, you know, very severe, just like very minor, like smoking, all that stuff, like this George, you know, Floyd thing, or you know, or you know, Jacob or something like that. And I feel like, yeah, this is very disturbing, man. Like if somebody caused a crime, then police just you know, arrest at minimum, man, or you know, so send them to court or just put them in jail, you know, like not really, you know, killing them, you know, like, which, you know, seems to be, you know, making a lot of people mad, right? They think that's racist, something like that, and this is where it plays. This is where a lot of hate start coming from, you know. And because, you know, and this happened often, and not only, you know, it caused the problem, but when hate starts, you know, to come into play, you know, and people get really angry, and sometimes, you know, they even throw out their angers, you know, to another person, you know, that doesn't deserve it, right? Let's say that, for example, you know, like somebody make, you know, a fake account of me, you know, and I get really pissed, you know, and thinking, you know, threat, you know, like how to harm this person. Sometimes I say out loud, you know, in front of, you know, people I know, such as like my dad or somebody. Or sometimes, you know, like, you know, like when my head get anger, you know, instantly I just yell anger, you know, to somebody else, you know, that doesn't deserve this, man. Even though they did nothing wrong, right? Sometimes people throw out their anger or say, I am not in the mood right now. It happens, you know, like every day in life, right? Yeah, I mean, when people dislike, you know, they don't throw out their anger, but when people get hate and when they feel, you know, very angry, they throw out the hot tantrum, man. And this happens to me very frequently. And yes, and I will try my best, you know, to, you know, control my anger and, you know, try, you know, to cuss less. You know, there's lots of people, you know, using, you know, foul languages, man. Which, yeah, I get like why people want to cuss, because they just want to show that, you know, just want to show, you know, strong, you know, anger, you know, emotion feelings, or for various reasons, you know, or yeah, they just don't use the cussing, right? Yeah, I know that I've been losing friends, you know, this year as well, and so is my friend of a friend, like even my best friend, you know, lost his friend too, you know, this year, you know, whether it's a mistake or not, or where for, you know, lots of reason. and sometimes even losing friends, and you start hating that friend, and that's not good. Yes, and I just want to make a real quick, talk on this video saying that I've been avoiding a lot of people lately. Of course, because of the pandemic, and also because I dislike them, or sometimes I just feel shy, or sometimes, I just want to avoid them completely. Because of, something bad happened in the past. Like that I and or that person doesn't like, why they did or what he or she did, right? I know it's hard to explain, but I have autism, and that's another thing, like why, like the hate comes to another play. People also hate each other not because of their look, it's also because of their disability too, like I get lots of people, who has autism, who has like Down syndrome, or or disability, in general, sometimes they get hate for it, man. And I know that, having a disability, it's very hard, to live through it, for the rest of your life. It's something that you cannot cure, just like the virus, right? Just imagine, if you have autism or, a disability or whatever disability you have. By having a disability, comparing to one that doesn't have a disability, you just have to carry the extra weight throughout your entire life. And you just have to become, more dependent, on, somebody else. That means that you need more help. I know that, like, that I've been, very dependent. I do need a lot of support, to like, to survive, and to really help myself, to become successful, in life. I know this is hard, man. I understand that having, a disability, is a frustration. And sometimes, people even feel more separated. But I just noticed that some people with autism, sometimes they want to be around people, sometimes they want to feel separated. Sometimes people with disability, like feel uncomfortable with people without disability. Sometimes they want to be separated too. That happens to me a lot. This is why, I have very low social skills, and I don't have, as many friends as compared, to other regular people. Where people make thousands of friends. I only have like less than 100 friends, to be honest. Right, because, social distancing, and also, feeling separated, and I just want to be separated from other people too. This has been happening to me, throughout my life, especially now in 2020, right? And sometimes when one of my family member pissed me off, I even want to be separated from them. I even want to avoid them. I'm not lying, or I'm not kidding, man. Some people want to even be separate from their family, which is even sadder, man. Because they're not even your friend, or not even this, stranger, or, really nice people. I get like it's okay to be, feel separate, but separate from, bad people, or, people you don't trust, or, from, people that has a lots of problem, right? So there's just a lots of definition, of, feeling separated, right? Yeah, man. Yeah, that's why America, I think there is just this one biggest, obvious reason why America feels separated. Well, let's say half support Trump and half support Joe Biden. Like the election is very close. Like I, like this is why, the election went on, for weeks, because of, the voting and the electoral vote is way too close, right? And now, not only, that happened, but I feel like, they, like these days, like human behavior in 2020 is the laughing stock of society, and I have to explain why. Is like, why are you saying that we are the laughing stock of humanity, of of human nature, comparing to the past? Yes, I get it, because there's a lot of stupidity going on. People don't take things seriously. We know that we have, very dumb leaders, in the past, and I don't want to say his name because I do not want to feel offended or offend, people who like that leader or president, leader, fight against leader, country hate each other like US, Russia. I feel like, like even, all the adult, that's supposed to act professional, like they became a child. Like I watched the president debate and I know what's going on, even though, I have autism, I don't pay attention, like 100%, but I know that Donald Trump and Joe Biden, they both act like a child. This is why, I don't like neither of them. This is why I didn't want to vote. Too, that's another reason I point out. Why I really don't like Joe Biden or Trump. I mean, they like argue, they keep saying shut up and all that stuff, like, hey, pause this, hey, I need to stop talking. And they just like keep budging in, like they just act like a little child. That's not professional. Like professional is supposed to be, like give turns to talk, you know, the body language and all that stuff, though, the way they say things. But both candidates, in my opinion, are very childish. Even some, leaders are being childish too, man. Like I get like why people hate Trump, even my friends hate Trump or my family because Trump is just just being irresponsible, just get away with a lot of things. And I heard lots of bad things about Joe Biden as well. People hate Joe Biden because they think he's like racist or he's a pedophile or he does something bad, or he did something that turned against them. All that big explanation. And Trump, supporter, Biden supporter, they fight, throughout election. And this is why they say that, hey, say like, oh, like, they just keep making like lots of argument, like why you want to be on one side of the president. I mean, the election was not a landslide. I mean, 50% of America support, Biden and Trump in general. About 50%. Like, we're just becoming like kids, like fighting every time. Which is, not a good thing. Think and pause, of what I really want to say. Yeah, I mean, we just, need to grow up, And if it's something in the past, that doesn't make you happy, just try to move on, Don't think about sadness or anger or hate. And if there's somebody that you don't like, just at least ignore them or leave them alone. And that way, the problem doesn't get worse than it has to be. I mean, this is why we were born in this world. We got life from God, man. God, at the end of the day, every single day, we are the child of God. And God want to make sure, like we respect him, we don't hate each other, we don't hurt each other or kill. That's what, living this world's about. We supposed to be on, this one team, we're supposed to help each other accomplish, anything we want to do in life. Whether you want to be, the greatest, in anything or accomplish, as many goals you want. I get that, like during, the young kid generation, there's a lot of cyberbullying because of technology, and now we have like physical bullying, people hitting each other, kids get into a fight, kids get suspended or even expelled. Yeah, I know that bully is, it's a common thing, of what's happening right now. I know that I talked to like a lots of my friends, and they said that they were bullied before in school. Yeah, bully is very unacceptable, guys. And this has to stop. And bully does cause hate too, man. Also stuff. I can like even name you 100 reasons, like why people do hate each other. I know that bully is a very common topic. People like want to commit suicide or even want to kill themselves because they feel like they're just being left out or being separated. And I'm just saying like this is be honest, man. Whenever you hear about somebody wants to commit suicide, sorry or not, you should call the hotline right now. I mean, this is the worst part of 2020. I went on Facebook and I know that one of my friend of a friend, he tried to kill himself, and this is scary, and we have to try to save his life and stuff, right? From suicide, man. Not only he feels sad because he feel probably separated, which is I assume that's like 60 to 70% of the time, like why people commit suicide because of the word separated. I mean, like they don't feel like they belong to the world, but you belong to here, man. Like God picked you. Like why do you think you were born in this world? Like how hard is it to get life? Like feeling separated and hate is just not a good thing. And what I want to suggest is that you should enjoy life as much as possible and don't think negative, because if you don't think negative, then bad things don't happen anymore, or keep it at minimum. When you're positive, you live longer, you stay happy, something like that. That's what God wants you to feel, man. Like, do you not understand, like, what's the chance of you being born or reborn again? The chance of you being born in this world is like absolutely zero chance, which I already explained in my older video. It's 1 in 400 trillion, you should look that up. I mean, entering, your life, entering this world, is not that easy, man. And if people lose life because of hatred, the worst thing is that if you lose life, you just cannot regain it, and the worst part is you only have like one life. Once you're gone, you're absolutely gone for good. I'm being serious, man. Like, your life is more important than anything else. It's not about whether you want, how much money you have, or whether people is bribing you, to make them happy and all stuff, but you should do accomplish goal, or do things, or do hobbies, that always makes you happy and stuff. I mean, if you don't like what the person's doing and stuff, you just try to ignore them, right? I mean, when you come up, goals in life, it just has to be realistic, and not attack, other people, or hurting them, right? I mean, I know that I've been, laid off for months now, this is why I hate year 2020. And why I've been doing, during, this long layoff or break things in 2020, I play Pokemon Go, I do lots of running, I try to get faster and faster. See, instead of, like causing, lots of trouble and hates, towards another. Or sometimes I can, motivate people, to become better, and or young kids, as watching this video, to hit their goal as very soon as possible so they can grow a lot, right? Yeah, we supposed to be helping each other in one, like to help, to accomplish any goals, they're trying to achieve. And that's spread more happiness, and that's get rid of, the hate. Like, our main goal of right now is to get rid of 2020, get rid of COVID, man. Be on one team, attacking, this one gigantic enemy. And by feeling separated, it'll be much harder to, survive 2020, and the pandemic just alone. 2020 and pandemic alone, is already a lot of, what people been through. If you have any question, regarding hate or separate, just comment below and all stuff. But yeah, man. I hope that 2021, will become a better year, for majority of us. But I have to end this video here. Hopefully you enjoy the content, and it's a 30-minute video, and hopefully, hopefully this makes sense to you, right? I hope you understand, But it's a good way, for me to talk a lot through a video, because I definitely need to practice my communication skills, and what I think, and how to, to withstand my, autism disability. So, yeah, peace out.